every Monday night, 9 to midnight. Mash Media Music is in the building. Mayday, Chris Reg.
Mash Music.
You
Just
know?
listen to stereo sound. We do have a visual for that.
Oh, sir, you got the camera ready? All right. As you know, we here in the building at livestream.com every Monday night, 9 to midnight, giving you that continuous, non-stop underground hip-hop flavor. We try to bring you new music every Monday night, but as you know, last week we had the Biggie tribute. This week we're doing the tribute to Nate Dogg, who was like the best on for all the hooks, man. I tell you,
Nate Dogg was a hook,
and he was so. I mean, may he rest in peace, but he was so gangster and ghetto with it. It was like the way it was like, dang.
He was one of the only dudes that could pull off what he was pulling off.
And that's what, and it goes back to like we were just talking about some other artists that they might do their stuff or whatever they do, but they catch your attention with what they do, and then they can have talent. It's like he already got your attention from the gate, and then so you gonna look at him. I mean, look at the person. To be like, can they do this? And then you see, then it comes out, so it works to their advantage.
Yo, Nate Dogg is one of my favorite hook dudes ever.
Well, he was basically the main hook dude in hip hop.
Yeah, everybody went to Nate Dogg.
Everybody went to Nate Dogg if you could afford it.
It's unfortunate, man. The way that ended was not cool. Would have liked to see him stick around. He was an artist you could have heard at 60. He would have been cool at 60. You know what I mean? He could have still been doing what he was doing. Snoop's doing it. I want to see Snoop rapping at 60.
It's like all these entertainers that we grew up listening to is just fading, man. Heavy D.
Yeah, but also, more importantly, though, fellas, it's like, with your project, like, how did you guys come together? Because I know, like, you have...
Mayday?
Yeah, you and Mayday. Because I know...
High school. High school, man. We were in the same area. We was in high school together, and there was a few people. In
10th grade, I was a senior.
And there was a few people rapping in high school. Actually, I was making beats at the time, I believe, and it was like Pink, who's also Mash Music now. Shout out to Pink, and me and Mayday, and Brendan, who read by Black and Mild. He's locked up right now. More power to him. Hope everything's well with him. But
he'll be out soon.
Yeah, he'll be home soon, and we just locked in. Like we were like, nobody else is doing it, and anybody else who is, they're not messing with us. So it's like we might as well just join forces. And then from there we just
on the computer.
On a desktop mic, the old little
thin little mic we used to record on the computer. It was crazy.
Terrible. Trying to be quiet because the parents was downstairs, staticky.
Like
Staticky is all hell.
That's how. But hey,
it was real. It was real. It was homegrown music.
But I know some people who still do that, and the music comes out good.
Yeah,
because they know what they're doing.
You know what you're doing, and because you have no outside influence when you're in the house, it's like I do what I want.
And then sometimes, like for instance, Rozelle, the man with the beatbox, he got so good because he was growing up poor. He couldn't afford a drum machine,
so he did it himself.
He had to do it himself. What I'm saying is, and it worked. So what I'm saying is that sometimes situations make you have to be who you are.
Yeah, I think it helps develop you. I think the fact that you are just alone in your room or with your friends or whatever the case may be. But if you're not, back then when we first started rapping, the internet wasn't as big of a deal. It wasn't 8 million rappers right in your face. It was the dudes you've seen on the radio, and at the time the dudes that was on the radio were the dudes. It wasn't a bunch of generations fighting for the top. It was,
and that's what it is, right?
One generation.
And that's what. But that brings a good question. Like, how do you guys feel now that you're in a game where you're not just fighting like a few dudes, you're fighting a whole sea of guys. It ain't just like one or two dudes or because now it used to be now everywhere you go, everybody's a rapper. You go to the shows, everybody's a rapper.
You ain't lying.
It's like as we just discussed, there are no fans in hip hop anymore. All the fans are other rappers. It's sad, but
it's the truth though. It's just the climate of the game.
And then you got the guys who don't want to pay it because as a promoter standpoint, you got the people who say, "Oh, why should I have to pay? I know you." It's like, well, if you want this to keep going on, we can't.
I look at it like this. If you ain't paying, you better have a service to offer. Like me and Mayday both do everything ourselves. Aside from the people in our team, like directly in-house, I don't think there's anything that we don't do. And if there is anything we don't do, we reach out to people like you and Absurd to kind of come in and fill the blanks in. And it's like, I'm not going to ask you to come do a favor for me unless I know that I could do something to return a favor. It's like, we got the website. So, I want you to do something for me. I help cross-promote you. Or you need graphic design, I do graphic design. You know what I'm saying? We going to do everything. Mayday went in and invested in camera equipment. We do our own videos now. You know what I'm saying? We don't need anybody. We try to keep it as in-house as possible.
Engineers. Shot book,
everything.
And the whole thing with it is honestly, it's all about teamwork. Actually, the first time I called When to You, Chris, is back when you were on Justice Mixtape.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I heard it, and then it wasn't until after a while I met you, I was like, oh, you're a dude from, you were like, yeah.
Shout out to Justina, man.
Yeah, we saw her last night at
Dub.
That night, Dub.
Fresh
Shout out
off
to
tour.
Sarah
Out there last night. Those people showed up.
Shout out to the Zulu Nation, they were in the building.
Word. Last night was
Big
peace. It
Zooms
was
out
cool.
there.
Yeah. But more back to you guys. So, but with your music, like, where does it really come from? I mean, I know you have different joints that you make people feel, and what really keeps you guys going after all this time?
We love the music. We love to do it. It's just something I have to do. Like, I have to write. I have to make music. It's just a part of me. Like, I have to do it.
It sounds cliche because of the fact that there's so many people saying the same thing, but it's realistic.
It's real.
Because that's what we do. We've been
like,
doing this
if
for
I
this
didn't like doing it, or like I really don't even make like music for other people. Like, I'm a fan of our music. I do it for myself. So like, we don't slack a minute. Like, I make music like I want to hear, that I want to listen to, that I can groove out to. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm a fan of my music.
And then we acknowledge the fact that because we do what we want to do, there's people out there that like the different things that we like to do, because there's a bunch of different stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody that comes out now seems to be, they find the lane that's comfortable for them and they stick to it. There's no versatility, there's no creative freedom anymore. It's like you just do what you're told to do. So I feel like if we could benefit by making quality music and it not be in one lane, and be able to, switch pivots once in a while, hop on a South record and sound good doing it, hop on a boom bap record and sound great doing it, and do a record for the ladies on some Ja Rule, which you know what I'm saying? I'm not
Ja who?
I mean, whatever.
It's smashing. Like.
But that's the type. That's that's the vibe we get. Like, we don't go into the studio saying this is the thing we have to do. We go into the studio open-minded to whatever all of us as a group could come up with. Somebody might have something completely different than the last day in the studio, and that's perfectly fine, because we like the challenge. You know what I'm saying? And we like the fact that we give our listeners a challenge in that they don't get too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? There's never a comfort. It's always, okay, they did this, that's different. I like it. Let me see what they do next.
So do you guys have any upcoming shows, anything of late here?
We haven't even been working on shows right now. It's been, like I said, we kind of locked into the studio to regroup and try and get the visual campaign back in gear. And we're about to redo the website situation. We got MashedMedia.com is the blog site, artists and producers and anybody that's got anything productive going for themselves. We are willing to showcase it. We like paying homage to our peers. But we are about
so we can post this interview on there once I get everything.
Yeah, of course.
Damn sure you can. We will get it up there.
That's the lane. Like, we're trying to get a lot of visuals out. So we're gonna be doing a lot of videos. That stereo sound video that we just heard. The stereo sound, that the joint that y'all just heard, we have a visual for that too. Y'all can check that out on MashedMedia.com. Turn Me Up is coming out.
And we got soon to be MashEverything.com, which is what MashedMedia.com is going to be the lane where it's more community based. We meet people at shows, we like their stuff, we post them up there. It's a blog site. And then we gonna open MashEverything.com, which is gonna be strictly our music. It's gonna be like the EPK portfolio.
It's gonna be just us.
Grand headquarters for you to get anything we do.
And Mashed Media is just gonna be an outlet for other artists to showcase their talent.
Right.
So, you guys have any last minute shout outs for anybody before y'all get into a freestyle in a little bit?
Man.
Any last minute shout outs you want to say?
Shout out Mash Everything, man. Shout out everybody. Everybody doing it and grinding and loving what they do. You know, I respect that.
Shout out Rec House. Shout out the remnants of 365. They good dudes. Amboy, Aaron Jones,
June
Boys. Boom, word, Shamari, everybody up in Patterson, New Jersey, everybody from Jersey, period, that's just putting in work to make a conscious effort to get the attention back over here. There's so many people, I'm not going to sit here and list them, but I really, really, really want to emphasize the fact that there's so much talent out here that's not getting noticed, and it's good to see that in current state, 2012, it looks comfortable going in. Like, this summer is going to be fun. There's a lot of artists that's really working right now, and I'm happy to see it. Because it wasn't happening. It got real unorganized out here for a while. The hip hop scene kind of faded, so
the attention's coming back though.
Yeah.
It's gonna come back.
It's a lot of dope artists out here, man. Shout out to Backpack Superheroes and Dead Poets and all them too. Renegade. That's a fam.
Yeah. I want to say thank you, gentlemen, for coming through.
Oh man, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Always,
For
y'all gonna stick around for a little freestyle and hang out with us a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into another joint from you guys.
You're ready.